Hello, my name is Michelle. I am a Jamaican born teacher. I teach visual arts. I taught visual arts for 19 years in Jamaica, teaching primary as well as secondary. In fact, I taught elementary age students as well. But I've spent most of those years teaching high school. And I left Jamaica in 2019 for the US. I taught middle school for 4 years and then another 2 years teaching elementary students art in Georgia. I recently moved to Ghana. For those persons who are seeing me for the first time, again, my name is Michelle. I'm a recent migrant, you could say, to Ghana. And while there is the idea of repatriation behind the move, there are a number of reasons why this was the best move for me at that time. Today, though, I'm not going to be diving into that part of the move. There are different ways that my life was impacted by the move. Now, when you move your things, and believe me, I've moved quite a number of times in my life, not just internationally, but while in Jamaica, I moved about 16 times before I ended up in my own home. And then when I came to the US, I didn't do a lot of moving, because you have one job, and once you're in close proximity to your workplace, you're good, right? But moving to the US, any at all, was one big move and a total start over. I've started over a couple times in my life too, so I'm not really afraid of change. There is a level of fear, yes, but I usually don't allow that to stop what I'm doing and stop all the decisions I've made for my life. Now, moving to Ghana, one of the issues I faced was, how do I move my artwork? And a lot of my artwork I transferred in the creator already to persons that I purchased. And so it was one of the first set of stuff that came. Of course, in a move, there are many things that happen. So one of the work I'm going to be looking at today, in show you the artistic side of Michelle, is a piece that I have not named yet. Although naming my work don't really mean, I don't usually name my work and I keep the names depending on the mood I am. Some of the times I will start a work last year, think it's finished, put it down, I take it up back this year, and I make some changes to it and I give it a different name. I don't know if that is good or bad. This piece I haven't named it. At its core, just before I left the US, I started working with pouring paints. I love the unpredictability of it. I love it. In fact, I love just starting something in art and not sure how it's going to turn out. I usually love how they turn out though, right? And this piece is one of them. There's another piece that I may just show you that encompasses what I love about art, the dynamism of it, what you can use different materials to manipulate and create something totally out of the realm of what you thought you would create, right? So I'm not sure what the name is right now. I think I changed that name of that work a couple of times. I know it's something African though. And just a point, I have thought of Africa, especially when it relates to art, long before I left Jamaica. So I liked to create African themed arts, and this one definitely, the one I'm going to show before I show you the one I'm going to be fixing, that one definitely had an African theme. So let's get to it. This work is, so it's a number of things. It's on what Jamaicans call crocus bag, stretch crocus. I bought the frame like that, the canvas like that, and the relief on it was a complete face that I did, but it was complete. All parts of it was present. I used air dry clay. So I used air dry clay to do it, and then it fell and broke. When it broke, this part
was left on it. And when things like that happen, I don't get rid of it. I usually find something to do to it that and makes it, just change it from what I originally started it out to be. So this section right across here was left, right? And I decided to use it to create something. And this part now I discovered epoxy. Yeah, the name is slipping me now. I bought it on Amazon, and I use it and shape this part with the eye, and then made some additions. I love using different resources. So this is beads, of course, here, and then different types of leather here, and then some airbrushing. Then I used another kind of, it's not clay, and made these very light relief patterns on it, right, to get that. And I love the fact that it has so many different parts to it, so many different types of materials. That's me. I love the difference of merging the thing with merging the different materials to create one complete artwork. This one now was done just before I left Georgia, and I used plaster Paris to do the flowers as well as the faces, and just getting a piece of the face, it was deliberate. The whole thing was deliberate. This was, I made a mold out of using the glue gun. So you use a glue gun on. I have a standard hard material face, and what I do each time I use that mold is create the mold for it, but when I'm using, whether it's plaster Paris or whatever, to create the relief, I change it after I do it, either by carving, or it depends on the material, right? So you don't get the same features. You don't get straight nose all the time. You don't get so you end up with different shaped eyes, different shaped nose, and so on. So that's the difference. If you look at this nose, you will see that it's different from this one and this one, right? And I deliberately, and the lips are the same, and I deliberately do that to make those changes when I am finishing up after I put it in. So 3 different faces from the same mold, but then I put it to the hardboard, and that in itself is interesting. Pour the same plaster Paris here for it to harden and fuse them together. I think I use a little bit of sawdust too with glue, and I wanted the idea that the faces were coming out of water. So I think I accomplished that a lot, and I just love the blues and the purples and the whatever on it. Now the nose here should not be totally white. This is it was scratched in moving, same here and same here. So I poured some of this on it. I use the Mod Podge a lot, well, yeah, in cases like these. And then now I am going to use a mixture of acrylic paints, you know, purple, blue and white, because if you look good you will see shades of purple, light blue, dark blue, white, and so on, very dark blue as well as black. And I'm going to be using that to make certain changes while I'm repairing it. I'm not changing it a lot because I don't want to lose the effect, but I want to be able to identify the theme, the idea that I wanted it in it, but at the same time not losing sight of whatever I wanted it to be, right? I'm not sure I got the shade blue that I wanted, but it doesn't matter in a sense. And then there are other things too that I wanted to add, right? See, I'll fudge it. When you fudge it, you see the effect. It's a little bit difficult for me to but this in particular, I may have to use a material, because this now, it lost a piece right here. So I'm gonna have to finish it. I'm not gonna take the entire video to go through all of this, you know. I'm gonna be showing you the different works that I did. Those that were damaged, I would have to repair them a little at a time. But I'm not gonna like take an entire video just showing you how, well, if somebody requests it or I start something new, I may. But I'm just showing what comes to mind when you see something like that. You would probably suggest, you know, a title for the piece. I love it. I love just sitting and looking at it. I love the pinkish purple. I just love it. Right? I love the different colors here. And I am hoping that any kind of anything I do to repair the cracks. You're not seeing the cracks now. I don't think you're seeing the shine either. The sheen comes from the Hodge Podge that I poured into the areas that were cracked. But this, you know, was slightly skinned off. I prefer a matted look as opposed to any sheen. So I don't really want sheen on it. So I have to figure out how I'm going to, you know, take care of those parts. And then I have to look for all the parts that were cracked. Across the forehead here. Here was lifted from the top here, so I have to get those things out. There was another flower here, but I thought it was too much to have 3, and I took them off. And of course but these flowers came from a mold that I bought on Amazon, and then I fixed them to this. I can't say how much I love relief work, so I'm thinking of doing some other relief work. The first time I bought an airbrush, I used it to create a actual painting. But it was I accomplished that by just creating stencils of the drawing. So it was an exotic flower, and drew it, then cut stencils for it, and you know, you use different stencils for different colors. But it turned out, to me it turned out spectacularly, you know. So I haven't done any art of such since I got here. I was teaching for a little bit, a couple months, helping out at a school, and that was one of the drawbacks, because I was just teaching subjects in general. I wasn't teaching art per se. Eventually I started giving my students a little bit of art, but you know, in being introduced to art for the first time, you have to start with mixing of colors, identification of colors, and mixing of colors, and so on. We see you in the next video. Being here with the art, there's not much space I don't have a set space to work, and I have to, once I start something, I don't like to be interrupted. So I don't want to, it's like I don't want to pull everything out at a spot, and then, you know, I don't have a table to pull everything out either. And then because everything is packed up, I have to actually search through and unpack things. So there are a number of art things that are inspiration that I've gotten, thoughts that I have towards starting something new, and I've just not acted on them. But I'm trying to get there. This is the first time I felt like actually tackling the repair of this one. I've had it out since I moved, and I think that made the damage worse, you know. And not everybody is careful with your stuff. So I'm going to repair it. I may show a picture eventually, because I'll come back to my art every now and then, so you would end up seeing a picture of it when the repairs are finished. The colors are not going to change, just repair. I'm repairing it, and then I'll show you anything new that I come up with. Okay, so I hope you find, I know persons are just want to hear about Ghana, but I'm hoping that the persons found this part of me as interesting as what I had to say about the actual move to Ghana. So I'll see you in the next video.